Greetings and salutations, everyone. Featherhoof here with another game side chat and Stardew Valley, where, yes, I've come back to it. I have some more stories to tell, but, you know, like I said, I need your guys' help, and some good examples have been brought up of topics I could talk about, and I'll get into them at some point, so this series will live on for a little while longer. I've actually come up with a couple of my own for the next couple of episodes, so I'm taking your what would you call them? I was going to say examples, not examples, suggestions, and I'm putting them in my pocket for later. So keep those suggestions coming in. For now, however, we're back in summer, we're still in summer rather, and I've decided that what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and get all my tools to steel. Or iron, rather. That's what, you know, I want to get all my stuff to iron. I want to upgrade my tools. That's just what I want to do, because I'm just like that. That's how I play these games. When I play Animal Crossing, my first priority is always to get, like, the best tools before I, like, start changing the landscape and everything. So I think, with the way that I've been playing the game, I'm going to have two objectives. My first objective is to get the best tools I can when I can. Second objective is that community center. I really want to start working on the community center. So that's what we're going to do today. Today, we're going to go fishing. Because fishing is part of the community center. But specifically, I am going to go around to different places where I haven't fished before. I'm going to go back to the ocean, because now it's summer. There might be new stuff in the ocean. I might, you know, maybe not this episode, but in the future I'm going to look into crab pots and stuff like that. I want to get the iridium rod so I can start using my tackle that I've been getting. So that's my step one. I'm getting my steel axe soon, or iron axe, and I want to save up 7,500 gold? So, I'll say gold. 7,500 gold so I can get the iridium rod. That's my goal for the near future. So, let's get on it. What do I have in here and why? Okay. Some stuff can be put away. Let's see, let's check good old boob tube. Oh! Finally, the weather is changing. Tomorrow's going to be interesting. Oof, bad luck today. So definitely not going to go mining. Let's talk about corn. Corn is a boring subject. I'm sure there's somebody out there who went, "Why didn't you read that? That's important." Sorry. Moving on. Let's change out my tools. I'm not going to need you for a while. I'll put you away, because again, I don't know if I should keep old boots and stuff like that, like my old equipment, or should I sell that stuff? I need you. Let's see, where's my good rod? There's my good rod. Definitely going to need you. Oh, this is all full. Can I put any of this stuff in here? Nope. Bye to you. I won't be needing a torch for a while. And we'll keep this to refill stamina. But, in the meantime, let's go ahead and let's start with, watering my plants. I'm not seeing a giant melon. I think I'm just going to get all normal-sized melons here. I don't know when, like, at what point they actually start showing up as a giant melon, if they do. So, the topic I want to talk about today is gaming. Gaming is going to be a topic I'm going to talk about for a little while, because that's what I know, that's what I talk about. That's like the one thing I think about all the time. It's a subject on my mind constantly. It's what I always talk about. It's like I have very few things I'm interested in the world outside of gaming. So it's the one thing I know that I can talk about on end. So, but it's something that's for me to start talking about it, I'm gonna have to talk about my pedigree, for lack of a better term. It's something I talked about in a vlog a long time ago. I touched on it. I didn't really go into detail. I've been a gamer since I think it was 88. I think 88 was the first time. Well, that's not true. That's the first time I got my first console. That wasn't the first time I ever gamed. I gamed at arcades back in the day. Let's see, where can I fish in my own lake? Is that a thing I can do? I want to check that out. Well, I mean, while we're here, you know what I mean? Oops, too far. So I actually fishing this thing? That'd be awesome if it was. Oh, there is! Oh. I found soda. So, I remember playing at the old arcades, you know? I played at them a lot. Okay, there's nothing but garbage in this thing. Fuck this. We're out of here. Fuck this shit, we're out. Always recycle. Oh, I see the wormies. Yeah, I was like a big fan of the arcades back in the day, man. I love... you don't see them often these days. You don't see very many arcades anymore. There's sort of like a dead medium. Which is sad, because I love the arcade. Yes, they were a huge money sink, you know, especially for a kid. You know, when you're getting money mowing lawns and you know, doing chores around the house, you're getting an allowance. You know, blowing it all on a, I'm still working on your steel axe. Oh, it's this steel axe. Wait. Then why did I give him how can I give him iron and he's making steel? I'm confused. Is steel an alloy or something? Some of you are like, Featherhoof, are you that dumb? Yes, I'm that dumb. Anyway, let's see. Where's some... We can fish in the river over here. Actually, no. Let's start with the ocean. We'll start with the ocean. See, I spent a lot of my youth at arcades. The first time I ever really got into an arcade was roller rink. Was at the roller rink. I used to frequent the roller rinks pretty often. Not just on my own. I would just didn't just go, I want to go roller skating today. It was more of a for some reason it was like the in thing to have birthday parties at roller rinks. So we did that a lot. So I spent like one of my favorite, like two of my favorite, or let's see, 4 of my favorite games were at arcades. Those would be the Simpsons arcade game, if you guys have ever played that. That was super fun back in the day. The X-Men arcade game. Whoa! Whoa! Okay. Whoa, I wonder what that was. Okay, so Simpsons arcade game, X-Men arcade game, Aliens vs. Predator, a red mullet, and oh, what was the other one? There was another game out there. I just can't think of it off the top of my head, but I do remember those 3 games specifically. So I spent a lot of time in arcades. But then, one day, in '88, I was about 5, 6 years old. My mother started me down on the bad, evil path that led me to the wasteful, lazy gamer I am today. I came home from school one day, and there was an NES, just a regular, plain, original NES sitting next to our TV. I had no idea what this thing was. I was like, what the fuck is this? And it was like, it wasn't like a brand new one. They got it they got it second hand. And It had the Super Mario Brothers and Duck Hunt combo game. And Tetris. Those are the games that they got with it. And we played those forever. Forever. And my father actually was able to buy games off. My father's a high school math teacher. He was able to buy like used games off of his students. His students would be like they would buy games. It's like, oh, this game is awful. You know, oh, let's sell it to the teacher to give to his kids. You know, and some of them were god awful, like Jaws, and God, dude, whoa. What is that? Yeah, like Jaws and Who Framed Roger Rabbit. You know, LJN games. For those who are old gamers, you know the initials LJN. And you know what that means. Ay, caramba! Trash, go away. You're filling up my space. I don't need you. Oops. Hey, if you know those dreaded letters LJN, yeah, you know some of the games I had to contend with. But not all of them were bad. Some of my favorite games were from back in the day. Like, I loved Rygar. If you ever played the NES port of that old arcade game. Actually, it's weird. I actually did love Who Framed Roger Rabbit. As an adult, I can understand that it's shit. It's absolutely awful. At the time, I loved it. Oh! Going back a bit, remember I was talking about the 4 arcade games I really loved? Turtles in Time. That was the 4th one. Anyway, continuing on. So I had my NES forever. Forever. I rented so many games. It's like some of them, like, I'll remember to this day. Like, Totally Rad. I loved Totally Rad. It was one of the first games I ever played that had transformations in them. And led me down a dark path. Let's see, what some of the old games, like the old DuckTales, Mega Man. Oh, I played all the Mega Mans, every last one. All of this was from like Blockbuster Video. So, yeah, so we played a lot of Nintendo. Until, again, one day, something new happened at our house. Something new happened, and that new thing was... This is several years later. My mother, again, comes home with something else. Another used console. Actually, no. I'm getting ahead of myself. My cousin had one of the original Sega Genesises. Like the original ones, like the little... Like the white power button, you know? Like the original. The Master System, I guess it was what it was called. I can't remember. And he had Sonic the Hedgehog 1. Oops, I'm running out of energy. So, whenever we would go over to his house, it was usually because, like, his father was really into WWF. Wow! That one even looked different. What was that? And my uncle was really into WWF, and he would have WrestleMania parties at his house. And we would go over there, and I wasn't interested in that. I was interested in my... Well, I mean, I kind of was, because I was actually into wrestling for a while. But my cousin had a Sega Genesis, he had Sonic. And I loved me some Sonic. But I had a Nintendo. I had a Nintendo Entertainment System. I couldn't play Sonic. So one day, my mother just comes... I come home from school, she picks us up, we go home. And there's this new fangled thing sitting next to our, again, our entertainment center. Our TV. This little sleek black machine. It's like a second or third rev of Sega Genesis. complete with Sonic the Hedgehog 3. And, wrong sound effect. Sonic the Hedgehog 3 and Space Harrier. And what was the other? There was 3 games. Was that those 2 and Echo the Dolphin 2, Tides of Time. Space Harrier. No, it wasn't. I got Echo 2 later. It was this other game. It was called Doki Doki Boys or something to that effect. I think it had an alternate title called Wonder Twins. It was those 3 games that we had. Those were... Oh, God. Oh, God. Oh, God. Oh, God. Oh, God. Come on. Come on. Come on. You tricked me. Fuck! So we had that Sega Genesis. That, again, it was just something my mother just found at a flea market or somewhere. It was again, secondhand. And it was at that time that I stopped being a Nintendo kid. Because, ooh, a halibut. Because I got a Sega Genesis. Oh, yeah. Again, I talked about this in a previous episode, but I did get a Game Boy before that Sega Genesis. I had my Game Boy. But when that Sega Genesis came, I became a stick. I totally became a... one more cast, and I need to get out of here. I became a Sega fanboy there from that on out. Damn it! Okay, yeah, I gotta go. Gotta go to that community center fast, and then I need to get back home. But, so, I became a Sega kid. I was all about the Sega Genesis. I loved my Sega Genesis. And then I got, even though I had some 40, 50 games for my NES and another 15 for my Game Boy, I think I only ever got maybe 12 games for my Genesis total. I say I got, but my parents, I had no money. I was a kid. Sometimes I would save up enough from doing chores and stuff like that. My allowance in order to earn enough to buy a game. But mostly it was my parents would get me for Christmas or something to that effect. Okay, all that fishing in the ocean, I could only give 2 things. I'm gonna have to try a river or something next time. See, I became a total Sega fanboy for years. I was all about my Genesis. A buddy of mine got a Sega CD. I begged for years, but my parents never got me a Sega CD. But I was able to play at my friend's house. But I played them all, man. I played Altered Beast. I played Kid Chameleon, Sonic 3, Sonic and Knuckles. Like I said, Space Harrier, Wonder Twins, Echo the Dolphin 2, Tides of Time, which again, I loved Echo 2. I don't know how you guys feel about that series, but I'm all about Echo the Dolphin. Love it. It's one of my favorite, all-time favorites Sega Genesis series. Yep, gotta go sleepy time. Woohoo! Right. Shouldn't be hard to get 7,500. So I had my Sega Genesis, my NES, and my Game Boy for a long time. That's all I had for a long time. And like I said before, great, thanks, spirits. Ooh, I don't have to water today. Yes. That makes me happy. Let's see. Let's go fishing at the river. So I had those. That's all I had, and for a oh, wait. Let's go check the blacksmith. He might have my my axe. So, and my axe. So, hello. I will be taking you to sell. Oh, I got 2 of them. Nifty. So that's all I had for the longest time. My parents were done buying us systems. They didn't buy us another system forever. Like, there was one point where I saved up enough money to buy a Game Boy Color. Just like my yellow Game Boy. I got a yellow Game Boy Color. But it was still just, it was just Game Boy, you know? It was nothing different. Whoa! Lightning sounds weird. Actually, we can just go fishing in there, maybe. Oop, wrong thing. Then one day, it's locked, open 9. Oh, not even open yet. One day, I got my paper route. I talked about this a few episodes back. I got myself a paper route. And I did that because I wanted a PlayStation. The original PlayStation. That's what I wanted. It took me 5 months. 5 months it took me in order to save up for a PlayStation. But I did it. I did it. And I'll buy my first original PlayStation. Green algae. Enough with the green algae. Give me some fish, damn it. Here we go. And I believe... Oh, what did I get when I cannot remember what my original purchase was actually for the PlayStation 1. A pike! Ooh. I honestly cannot remember right now what the first game I bought on the PS1 was. That was the system I had until... Like, I had that all the way... I remember now! I do remember! And it was the first RPG I ever owned. And it's the game that got me into RPGs. A game that... What? Oh, wrong sound effect. A game that I can look on now and I can see the reviews and I can see, okay, yeah, I understand. It was bad. It was a bad game. But it was one that I loved. And to be perfectly honest, I believe I can go back and love it still. Like, if I went back and played it again, I could still love it. Hi. Yes! I had myself a steel axe. I can go and chop up the logs now. It was called Beyond the Beyond. I was absolutely enamored with this game. I loved it. It was fascinating. It is like I'd never played a game like it before. Graphics for the time was like my little mind was blown. Not for the overworld graphics. When you're on maps and stuff like that, they're awful. They're just not awful, but I mean they were just like any other RPG like prior to it. Then you got into battle. It was these full 3D things, and they were beautiful. And then you had like mandatory class upgrades as you got to like level 30, and you had to go to this little trial thing. But anyway, that's not the point of this episode. So, I had a PS1. And that's what I became the fanboy of then. I spurned the Sega. I was like, okay, I'm done with you, Sega. I now have the PlayStation. I'm a Sony fanboy now. I jump all over the place, don't I? And, had that for a while. I had that all through high school. I mean, I got into RPGs hard with that PlayStation 1. It's not like that was the only thing I played. You know, I played all these. I played Resident Evil. I played Dino Crisis. I played Final Fantasies. I played Tales of Destiny 2. I played Castlevania Symphony of the Night. Until high school came. And I got into... No, high school ended. When high school ended, I pissed off my mother something fierce because they gave me a high school graduation party, you know. And, you know, you get money from your family and relatives and whatnot. Well, I took that money that I should have spent on things for, you know, college textbooks and stuff for college. And I spent it on the PlayStation 2. A PlayStation 2 and Onimusha. Oh, my mom was pissed. My mother was so pissed. Well, she wasn't pissed as much as she was disappointed. know when the parents say, I'm very disappointed in you. But I had a PlayStation 2, so I didn't care. Oh my god. Dudes. PlayStation 2, that is where I hit my absolute stride with gaming. So my obsession with gaming really, really hit its stride right there. I mean, to this day, the collection of PS2 games I have rivals any other system's collection. I have more, still right now, like concurrently, I still have more PS2 games than any other system I own. And that's when I really started, because now I have a job at this point in my life. Like a real job. You know, this is when I started, but I was in Super K, and I was cashier, you know, customer service and whatnot. I was buying games all the time. At one point, I actually got an N64. Or rather, our family got an N64 at one point. But I didn't pay it too much attention because I was more obsessed with my PS2. I at one point did buy a Game Boy Advance. I also bought a DS shortly after. See, what else did I buy? After my DS... Okay, after the DS... Wow, I skipped something very important. Something very important. Go back many, many years. Around the time I got a Sega Genesis, our family got its first computer with Windows 3.11 as the operating system. Come on. And it was around that time I was introduced to a type of game, two types of games I had never played before or seen. The first being the point-and-click adventure. Specifically, Space Quest 4, Freddy Farkas, Frontier Pharmacist, Leisure Suit Larry, and, was that it? Or was there something else? Oh, and King's Quest, was it? Okay, I can't remember which King, there was a King's Quest, but I can't remember which one it was. But the other type of game I was introduced to was Doom. The original Doom. Oh, how I played that. Oh, how I loved it. There was a brief time we had a computer, like I was a little bit of a computer gamer. We had Windows 3.11. That got upgraded to 95 second edition, 98 second edition. But it was around the time of 98 that I sort of fell out of computer gaming. I kind of fell out of PC gaming. Like, we had a PC, but it wasn't powerful enough to really play many games. And this is about the time that I told the story many episodes ago about how my mother sort of put a broken computer in the basement. It was the attic or basement. And I decided to fix it without asking if it was okay. That's when I played like Doom 3. I played Final Fantasy 11 for like all of a week. What else did I do? But I sort of fell out of it. I played, like I said, played it for a little bit, moved on. That was around the time I got my PS2 and my PlayStation 1. Actually, was it PlayStation? No, that's about the time I got my PlayStation 1. And I was just sort of, yeah, this PC thing is nice, but our computer, especially seeing as my mother took it away, remember? She says that never happened, but it did. So I was stuck with my PS1 and PS2. Well, after I got my 3DS and my Game Boy Advance, and I started to re-fall in love with Nintendo games. The mobile, the handheld side of things. That's when Nintendo, through a college acquaintance, 'cause I wasn't following Nintendo at all. He showed me the Wii. He showed me the trailers for the Wii. And I was like, this looks awesome, because they were showing, Twilight Princess, Zelda Twilight Princess. I'd sit there swinging the sword to, do sword, the Wii remote to do sword attacks. And I was like, that's awesome. And then doing the bow and arrow motions for the bow and arrow. I was like, that's amazing. I have to has this. So I did. I got a first launch day Wii. I was able to get a launch day Wii. I was working at Super K. Oh, damn it. And I was bemoaning the fact that the day before, GameStop, I called GameStop, I was like, hey, are you taking pre-orders for the Wii? They said, yes. They said, there was no, yes, but it was just, yes, we are. So, but it's like, you have to be here, like, first thing in the morning. The moment the mall opens, you have to be in here. So I went, okay, all right. I woke up at 7 in the morning on a weekend to go down to the mall to, let's drink up some soda. Eat some mushrooms. And I need to go get more things to replenish my energy. So I went there, and they went, oh no, you were supposed to be here yesterday, and we handed out numbers. And those who had the numbers could then come in and pre-order the Wii. I was pissed. So I was bemoaning that, and someone said, well, you know that people are lining up in front of Toys R Us to reserve a Wii right now, right? I'm like, no! How many? And they were like, 15. I was like, okay. So my shift to Super K ends. It's 10 o'clock. I rush over. Like, I don't even get in my car. Because the Toys R Us is, like, a block away from my Super K Mart. I just walk down there, and I say, how many? They said 15. I counted. I get in line because I'm number 13. I'm like, this is where I'm staying. I'm number 13. Awesome. And there were people in line for PS4s. I'm sorry, 3s. PS3s and Wii's. I sat there all night. I called up Cindy. I told her, yeah, I'm not coming home because I'm sitting in front of a Toys R Us so that I can reserve a Wii. I did. She came, she brought me my DS. And I sat out there, just playing my DS, waiting for Toys R Us to open so I can reserve a stupid freaking Wii. And launch day came. I got a Wii. Launch day. Had some friends over. We had a little party. We had a little Wii Sports party. It was good times, man. Good times. The Wii was such a great system before it became this, like, repository of shovelware. Then, after the Wii, Wii comes and goes. I love the Wii. Love it. At some point in there, I get a 3DS. And I also got a 360 at some point in there as well. I got a 3DS with, actually, the 3DS was actually a gift from Cindy. I was bemoaning that I wasn't able to get a 3DS. I'm like, oh, I really want a 3DS. She bought one for me while I was at work. And then, to mess with me, she gets back into bed after she's come home with it, plugs it in, and starts playing Street Fighter 4 3D Edition in the bed next to me. Like, my brain starts, like, it registers. It's like, because I played Street Fighter 4. Like, wait a minute. Why am I hearing Street Fighter 4 sound effects? The fuck? I turn over, and there she is, holding a brand new 3DS. It's like, oh, you don't mind if I play on your 3DS for a little while? That's what she says. I went, what? It totally screwed with me. But I love Cindy. She does shit like that for me sometimes, and I love it. And she's got me, like, some people have mixed feelings about Final Fantasy 13. I liked the game. Despite how it was kind of bad, but I still enjoyed it. When the reviews came out, the reviews were generally positive with minor complaints. I was like, oh man, I wish I could get 13, but, you know, I'm just not going to get it right now because, you know, money and whatnot. She just decided to go out and get it for me. She was like, okay, here. And she just one day I came home from work, there's a brand new wrapped copy of Final Fantasy 13 sitting on our coffee table. I love Cindy. So, okay, it's almost 9 o'clock. Let's go take some of the stuff back to the community center. So I got my 3DS, I got a 360. We bought Halo 3 with our 360. And 360 is actually the system with the second most number of games that I own. And that was like my primary console for years. Then, once again, she decides she's gonna, you know, for one of our anniversaries, she just decides, here, you can have a PS3. Here is a red PS3 with all the God of War games bundled in. I was awesome, thank you. There it is. Okay. So she bought me a PS3. Because I had actually gone out of my way, because I wanted to support the developer, because I want more of the developer to still keep making games, because people don't buy the game, they're not going to, port them over here to the States. I went and bought Ni no Kuni, even though I didn't own a PS3. And Tales of Grace's F. So Cindy just decided, I'm just going to buy him a PS3 for our anniversary. So she did. Let's see. Then I got a 3DS XL. No, not XL. New 3DS XL. I got a Wii U at one point, which I actually enjoy the system. I know it kind of flopped, but it had great games on it. Some amazing games. And then I got my gaming PC, the one I'm currently using right now, which if you go to my YouTube's About page, you'll see the specs. I built that with the help of my mother-in-law. She helped pay for half of it. And I paid for the other half because she's just awesome like that. And what else happened? That's pretty much up to date. Oh, and I have a Nintendo Switch. I've basically... My gaming boils down to two consoles. Or consoles, for lack of a better term. Nice! A worm bin. I can now make a dress spinner and a barbed hook. Nifty. Ho ho! Ho ho! Yes! I'm gonna have that iridium rod in no time. Look at that, 6315. Okay, so yeah, now I have my Switch, and I have my gaming PC, and my gaming basically boils down to this. I don't have a PS4, I don't have an Xbone, and to be perfectly honest, as much as I want to have a PS4 Pro, because I want to play Kingdom Hearts 3, and Final Fantasy 15, and Bloodborne, I just can't justify it. At least with my finances as they are, especially because I want to build a newer PC. One that can actually, play things better, one that can actually render videos faster, an all-around better PC. Because my PC is definitely starting to show its age, especially with some of the more AAA titles that are coming out. But it's like PC, and then on the other side I have Nintendo. I'm PC and Nintendo. I have a new 3DS XL and a Switch on one side, and I still have my Wii U, which I still have plugged in. On the other side, I have my PC. I mean, I still have my PS3 and my 360 plugged in as well, but I don't use them. Like, my PS3 is used exclusively to watch Netflix and Hulu now. That's all it's for. And the 360 just looks at me like, will you ever use me again? And I look at it and go, maybe. And no, I'm not. I don't trade in my systems, because I know that people out there are going to say, well, why don't you trade in your 360 and your PS3 to get a PS4 Pro? I don't do that. I'm a collector. I can't give up those systems. I can't trade it in, because then, Say, when are you ever going to play that old game again? I might, and that's why I don't want to get rid of them, because I love my old games. I just don't want to throw them away. I don't want to sell them. Well, anyway, this episode's gone on really long, but I really want to explain my pedigree, my video game pedigree. So people really got, get an idea of where I'm coming from as a gamer, where, what I've, got to experience growing up. And speaking of that, that's something we're going to go into a little more in the next episode, because guys, I have to end this one here. I hope everyone had a good time, and if you did, please let me know with a like, comment, subscribe, share it, or you can click on the annotations for other videos I've done. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you all next time.